This question has always popped up for me from time to time, no matter if I'm doing really well but especially, like for sure, it comes up when I'm not doing well. Um, and it's this thinking to myself, it's like, what is there to do? What is there to do? What's the next thing to do? I have to do the next thing. Like, this chronic anxiety about worrying about doing this next thing. So like if I'm doing one thing, my mind's already worrying about doing the next thing, because that is like I'm always living in the future almost. It's like my freedom is in my future. I have to keep chasing it, chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. And for the longest time in my life, that sort of chronic anxiety of the chase, of feeling like I was never doing enough and I need to do more, 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 more. That shit consumed me. Um, Made me constantly anxious, constantly feel like shit about myself, constantly feeling not enough. But it has gotten very much better in the past year or two. Um, Whereas before it would just consume me and I'd just get all fucking anxious and like overwhelmed and shit. Now it's more like when this sort of question, or rather anxiety, does arise, it's like the harder I think about it, the more it becomes more clear and more apparent to me that there really isn't anything to do. Um, like now, I'll just be like, for fuck's sake, bro. Like, I'll say to myself, when I do get into this like need to do more, need to achieve more, need to get there, wherever the fuck that is, need to get there. I'll say to myself like, fuck, I need a girlfriend, or like, fuck, I need to progress in my career, and then I'll be like, oh, I need to do these things. But sooner or later, I'll come back to myself, and then I'm just like, bruh. It's like, what do you want a relationship for? So you can feel happy, so you can feel loved, for some pussy. Like, what do you want? What do you want to progress in your career for? So you can feel more successful, so you can feel a little bit better about yourself, so you can feel like just a little bit less like a worthless piece of shit. And then I laugh, because as soon as you want something because you want to attain an outcome out of it, that's when you've lost yourself. That's the thing I realized, was that, do you think that the people who enter relationships with the goal of wanting to feel loved end up feeling loved and end up in a relationship that lasts? Do you think people who chase career progression, never feeling successful enough, do they ever end up feeling successful enough? I don't know, it's pretty self-explanatory to me at this point, right? It's like, when you feel like you're not enough, then that's when you become clingy, and it's almost like you push love away and you push success away because you're chasing it. By chasing it, you are separate from the love or the success. And then you chase it and it runs. You chase it and then it runs. It's the never ending cycle. It's the fucking hamster wheel. We'll get to that in a bit. And so, why do you put up with a job that you hate? You want money? Well, if the money from the job is going to make you happy, then why are you still unhappy at your job? So when you suddenly expect an outcome when you're doing something, it's like you corrupt your motivation into this dark energy that's just completely fake and inauthentic. you end up doing things not because you want to do them, but because you want to gain something out of doing them. So you end up using people and situations as a means to an end, rather than seeing that the means is the end in itself. You're selling yourself out because you're fearful and you're desperate that you need to have this certain outcome or else the world's going to fall apart. Right? You need to be in control. You need that love. You need that money. You need that wealth. But you see, that needing is what's pushing it away. And so when I come to this realization, it's like you think you have to be running around in chronic anxiety trying to achieve something and get somewhere? It's like, lol, bro. It's like, then what? Then what after you get that thing? You're literally a fucking hamster on a hamster wheel and you don't even know it. Right? You're just running round and round and round and round. What do you think the Buddha meant by the wheel of samsara, the wheel of life and death, the wheel of suffering? Right? It goes round and round and round, and for as long as you want to be staying on that wheel, you're just going to go round and round and round. There's no end to it. You're like a cog on a machine. Literally, you are running round and round and round and round, acting like once you get somewhere, you can finally rest. But how can you ever rest? The wheel rotates and it rotates. And then guess what it does? It rotates and then it rotates again. You're going farther and farther and farther and farther and farther and making progress, but going nowhere at all. You're walking on a fucking wheel. And that's the hilarious joke of it all, once you really see it for what it is. And so I'll end off with some questions to ponder. What if you entered a relationship simply because it's fun, because it's enjoyable, because you want to, just for the sake of it, not expecting anything out of it? What if you worked on something not because you wanted to attain something out of it, like money or fame or success or recognition or prestige or whatever, insert insecurity here, but you did it simply because you enjoy the fuck out of it and there's no other reason why you do it? What could your life be like if everything you did was for fun and not because you felt like you had to gain something out of it? Ask yourself this question for all the things you do, and I promise that it will make you reconsider a lot of the things that you are merely currently just putting up with. If you enjoy this sort of raw philosophy, dialectic sort of like raw discussion type stuff, consider subscribing. Would love to have you on board, and we can expand the mind together. That's all I have. Thank you for listening. If you did reach this point, you're a fucking legend. And I'll see you next time. Peace.